All right, so I'm sitting there the other night, me and my wife, and we're watching this reality show, Age of Attraction. And there's this moment during one of the group sessions, and the cast is questioned about how they feel when it comes to the opinions and thoughts of their family and friends. And this woman, one of the cast members, her whole body just it just braces up. You could see it. Like she knows, a judgment is coming before anybody's even said a word about it. And you could see it not just in her body tensing up, but you could see it on her face. And I actually felt it. Not because I've been on a dating show in the past or anything, but because I recognized the way her body responded to the questions and how her body just sort of stiffened up. And just for some context here, just to give you an idea of what the show is, the show is set up where the cast, they build connections with others, but they can't know how old the person they're with is. That's the whole premise, the whole gimmick of the show, right? So you take away the number, the age, and you see if people actually connect. But that's not really what got me. What got me was how much energy the cast and these people were spending managing what everybody around them was gonna think. It wasn't about the person that they were building a connection with and that they liked. It was about everybody else. The friends, the family, the group chat, the whole peanut gallery just on the sidelines waiting to weigh in. So anyway, I'm watching this and I catch myself thinking, man, I know that feeling. Again, not the dating part, again the bracing part. The part where you essentially you're not really living your life, the way that you want to, but you're performing a version of it that you think other people will approve of. And I sat with that longer than I probably should have, because once I really looked at it, I realized that I've been doing some version of that pretty much my entire life. From jobs that I stay in past the point where they make sense. Hell, I'm still at a job almost 14 years now that makes no sense, but I stay there because I don't want to disappoint people. I don't want to disappoint myself. I feel like I'm a failure. Opinions I kept to myself because I didn't want the pushback. Whole stretches of years where I said yes to stuff I didn't want to do just to keep the peace, just to keep people comfortable with me. But here's a part that actually messed with me. I used to think that was just being a nice guy, being easygoing, not making waves. And I used to tell myself that was the right thing to do. But I mean, after all of these years, I've come to believe, and I've come to really think that it's not. It's fear wearing a nice outfit. That's all it is. You dress it up and you call it being nice or keeping the peace. But underneath it, it's just you being scared of what happens if people don't like you or agree with you. So even though easygoing is an uncomfortable thing, we go with it. Because it's a lot easier to think of yourself as the agreeable one than to admit you've been scared for 20, 30 years straight. And look, I'm not saying don't be kind to people. That's not the same thing. Kindness is when you're doing right by somebody and it costs you nothing you actually needed. People pleasing, on the other hand, is different. That's when you're bending yourself into a shape that isn't you, because you're scared of what happens in the space where somebody might not approve. But somehow around, I'm going to say my mid-40s, something, it really shifted. Not all at once. And I wish I could tell you that there was this one big moment, but it wasn't like that. It was more like I just got tired. I got exhausted, tired of managing everybody else's feelings about me before I even let myself have my own. So I just started doing less of it, just one moment at a time, and just quietly I stopped looking for people's approval the way that I used to. And that's when I realized just how much of my life had actually been spent on it. Decades, not days, not months, not a couple years, but decades of energy poured into making sure people liked me, thought well of me, didn't have a bad word to say. Energy that could have gone toward just living, toward the stuff I actually wanted instead of the stuff that kept everybody comfortable around me. But here's the icing on the cake. I look around and all those people, family, friends, the ones I sometimes bent over backwards for, nowhere to be found. I mean, there's some still around, but the majority nowhere to be found. And if I had to take a guess as to why, it's because I stopped giving a damn about what they thought and literally sat some people down and told them that I am not going to bend over backwards. I'm not going to beg for you to one, see how much I care and love you, care for and love you. But I'm also not going to bend over backwards for you to love me or for you to even like me. So watching that show, watching people brace for an opinion, a verdict that hadn't even been handed down yet, I really wasn't thinking, like, wow, that's rough for them. I feel bad for her. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, I did the same thing for years. I just didn't have cameras on me while I did it. And I'll be honest, I was kind of feeling bad for some of the people on the show, but I was also like, stop worrying about them and live your life. They're going to live their life, so live yours. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, the secret is to stop caring what anybody thinks, ever completely, like some monk, on a mountain. That's not something I do. It's not realistic, and it's not even me being honest with you. You're going to care what people think sometimes. That's just, we're human, right? And here's the only thing I actually did land on, though. You get one life, one. And if you do spend a big chunk of it managing everybody else's opinion of you, that's real time gone that you don't get back. Not metaphorically, not hypothetically. It's gone. Once you spend that time, it is gone. So ask yourself, are you spending time worrying about what other people think about you? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if your situation is similar to mine. Would love to hear your feedback, and I will see you in the next one.